What is up, Not So Pro Football Talk? It's Vincent Prince here along with Reed, and we are back for another Monday Live. This week was crazy. Week 3 can't get better than that, honestly. A lot of high scoring games, a lot of high scoring fantasy players. If you had some of those, you know who they are. But I mean, it was just an interesting week overall. I felt like we got better at our pick'ems for the spreads and all that stuff. I feel like we're pretty spot on with all the guys that we're gonna pop off. I mean, I feel like it was just a good week of football overall. I was pretty excited, and that's because I didn't even watch too much football because my parents were here for the weekend. But when I did turn it on, it was insane watching everything happening. So, what about you, Ree? What do you think about this week?
Obviously, the elephant in the room is the Dolphins scoring 70 points. That was I wasn't watching the Dolphins game because I was obviously watching the Packer game, fully engaged. And we had a lot of ups and downs. We'll get into that later. But I remember just reading off the bottom of my screen the score for them. It was like 50 something to like 10. I was like, what quarter is it? It's the third quarter. I was like, okay, they're gonna put the brakes on. Cool, they scored over 50, you know? Then I see 70 points. What the heck? What in the heck are they? Sean Payton.
Worst
How
coach in the NFL.
how dare you say that about my guy Hackett
Uh,
and then be 0-3 and lose like that? Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. What's up,
Brady's up
Brady
on
Griffin?
here.
We're doing
What's
good.
up,
We're doing
man?
good, man.
Yeah, man, just enjoying
And
football.
Rafe says W. Jordan Love, W. Kenneth Walker, Bowers facing Monster, uh, Mostert, and Tyreek Hill. So I lost, dude.
Jeez,
That is rough.
that's rough. I
Anybody that
mean,
actually started Mostert, I'm surprised about. We actually said do not do it. Most of the AJ will put that one on him, you know. Um, but we didn't think he was going to repeat, especially a repeat for a performance like that. Nobody
I
was
mean,
expecting that.
in our defense read, I think we said that Mostert could keep it up, but
Yes.
AJ said no. It's
Oh,
a one and done.
gotcha,
But I
gotcha,
don't know. I
gotcha.
don't know. And I don't think anybody would have predicted both. I don't.
A-Chain.
I don't even.
A
I don't
Chon.
even. Achan, right? Is that
Chon,
how he
that's
wants
his
it saying?
It's not A-Chain, guys.
Devon Achan.
Yeah.
And Raheem Mostert were gonna combine for 8 dang touchdowns.
That
I,
was
I just want to, I mean, since this is the basis of like what this video is going to be about, I just want to go through like how many times that the Dolphins had the ball on offense. But before I do that, we'll read some of these comments. So Brady Griffin says, "Do you think the Jets should get a new QB or play Tim Boyle?" Honestly, I think their season is done. I don't think they can come back from it. Honestly, Aaron Rodgers just took too much out of it. It's like, like when there's a storm about to happen, there's like no wind. Well, that's the Jets. The Jets can't fly because there's no wind in that building or that organization at this moment in time. So honestly, I think if they were to put anybody else, they'd just be doing Zach Wilson a disservice. Let the guy play. If he's not the guy, then this is the year you're gonna find out he's not the guy because he's got what, like 13 more games to prove that maybe he can possibly get better at the quarterback position with the stacked roster that they have. But if he doesn't, then you're going in the draft and you're trying to get one of these new quarterbacks, or you're just trying to wait till Rodgers gets back and you bide your time and see if you get another star quarterback after Rodgers retires. Uh, but yeah, that's what I think about it. What do you think, Reed?
Um, I think yes, they are screwed. I cannot believe they have another 14 games that we have to watch of this. A lot of those games being prime time games that we are going to have to suffer through watching this Jets offense. I don't think it's completely all or lost. I do see a question coming about is Garrett Wilson trash now for the rest of the season. I don't believe that for forever. I do think he can pop off a few games. He did it in his rookie season with Mike White and Zach Wilson, where he's able to put up decent yardage. I don't think it's a complete loss in the season. Do I think they should start Tim Boyle over Zach Wilson? Absolutely not. Tim Boyle, he used to be a Packer guy, so I do know who Tim Boyle is. He's not going to be much better than Zach Wilson. You may be able to get a spurt of energy just because there's somebody new in there, 100%. But you're not going to see more consistent play than Zach Wilson, in my opinion. So I don't think they should go to Tim Boyle. If they're going to go with another option other than Zach Wilson, I think your best bet is probably going to be Carson Wentz. Matt Ryan, and it's been reported Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz have reached out to be signed by them. I don't think Matt Ryan is the correct person for that. I think Carson Wentz would be a better option. Sign him to a 1-year, pretty low deal, and just have somebody else in there to like challenge Zach Wilson, etc. But I think they're going to roll with Zach Wilson for a while, potentially start him towards bench him towards the end of the year. But I just don't see what they're going to do. Their whole season has just been completely screwed up. The only other option I think there is to trade for Kirk Cousins because the Vikings are 0-3, and if the Vikings want to call it quits close to the trade deadline, and the Jets have won a couple games, so if they throw Kirk Cousins in there, which they could potentially make the playoffs and make something out of the season, I think that's a potentiality. I just don't know if the Vikings are ready to call it quits on the season yet. And until they're ready to call it quits on the season, they will not move Kirk Cousins, who will not be with the Vikings next year. So
this is true. So there's a lot to think about here. It's like who's going to give up first.
But if you're expecting a change in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it's not going to be anytime soon. It's not. It's going to be something down the road. Maybe potentially signing a Carson Wentz or a Joe Flacco. But if you're expecting a big move for them to actually be able to win games, it's not going to be happening anytime soon.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw Joe Flacco play with them last year. I mean, it wasn't anything special. It looked like it was just the reversal of Zach Wilson, but he's older. But Alex, what's up, man? How goes it, guys? 2 questions.
Well.
Thought on Quentin Johnston's value after Mike Williams tore his ACL. Horrible news to hear, especially since he is up there in age. Who knows how he's going to come back. But he says, and your thoughts on a trade I made today, Sanders and Hopkins for Gibbs and Dalton Kincaid. I'll talk about the trade first, just because it's the last thing we read. Sanders and Hopkins, is that who you got? Oh, no, that's who he traded away, right?
He traded away because he got Gibbs and Kincaid.
And Dalton Kincaid. Honestly, at this point in time, it looks like the other person won the trade, but Gibbs has a lot of upside if the Lions choose to use him correctly in that offense. I feel like there's just too many mouths to feed. And Dalton Kincaid,
they're giving him touches.
They're giving him touches, but I just feel like it's not enough, for a guy that they drafted in the first round when they already had a good running back there. 12th overall. Like that's really high for a running back that is not named. What's his name? His name. Names always escape me. Bijan, yeah. Bijan Mustard. And then Dalton Kincaid. I mean, he is gonna stay the starter at tight end. He's getting over 60 to 70% of the snaps when they are passing the ball. So he should see some more productions. Should see some more touchdowns. But yeah, so I think you could possibly even out on this trade. At this point in time, I think you may have lost a little bit. So yeah, that's my honest opinion, but I feel like you needed some help at the tight end and running back position, and you were betting on Gibbs being a stud because of injuries there with the Lions. So not bad.
Yeah, I personally like the trade. I think it was good.
Cool. And then back to Quentin Johnston, the first part of his question. I think he could possibly play the role that Joshua Palmer played last year. So if you guys know who Joshua Palmer is, every time he would come in when Mike Williams or Keenan Allen were hurt, I mean, this guy was a stud. So if Quentin Johnston has enough talent or even more talent than Joshua Palmer in that wide receiver 3 position, I think he's going to do great. So if you can pick him up, I think that's possibly one of the pickups this week that AJ might talk about in his waiver video tomorrow. So
make sure you guys tune into that to get all your waiver wire pickups.
Yes, sir.
Let's see if it says also lukewarm take. Mike White is still a better quarterback than Zach Wilson. I think that's a very accurate statement.
That's a valid statement.
I think Zach Wilson improved as a person this offseason. I think he won the locker room back where it was because it all wasn't all on him, but he also learned how to be a better teammate to his fellow teammates. I think he learned a lot there. But as far as his play and his decision making, I don't think there was a lot of improvement, and that's why we're seeing what we're seeing. So, if Zach Wilson is to be a starter in this league, I think he needs to sit for a while and learn more. He's been unfortunately he was gonna my boy Mike White. I think he was gonna have a chance to be able to sit and learn, but unfortunately with the Aaron Rodgers injury, he wasn't able to get that, and he may never be able to get that after this season of where he's just going to be absolutely flamethrowered. He's getting booed by the Jets fans. They want him cut. They want him gone. It's over for him in my opinion. As far as being a Jet, there's just no future. Brave says, I'm 0-3 with the squad of Jordan Love, Walker, Gibbs, Rachaad White, Olave, Diggs, Garrett Wilson, D-Hop, London, and Ertz. Am I cooked? I don't think so. I think he's just gotten a little unlucky there, Rave. There's definitely things you can improve on. Like Gibbs, I believe in him for the long term, but right now he's not doing that well. Rachaad White is going to heat up eventually. Olave, I mean, he actually had a good game against the Packers.
He is, yeah, he's playing good.
Yeah. I think that's good. Diggs, obviously great. Garrett Wilson, potentially try to sell him on high right now because his stock is going down quick. I think you have a solid team. It's just you got to find some backups, I think, maybe.
I agree. Honestly, there's a lot of good teams right now in fantasy football and a couple of our leagues who are 1-2, 0-3. It's just sometimes there's a lot of, better players that are out there at this point in time. Some players have good weeks. If you go up against Tyreek Hill, these past 3 weeks, you probably were scrapping for a win there. And there's a couple other guys that have just been popping off lately, and it's unpredictable. So that's what fantasy is. It's half luck, half skill. I think your team is great, especially the way that a lot of those guys have been popping off, like Kenneth Walker, as well as Olave and Diggs, sometimes even D-Hop. I just think you're just getting some bad breaks right now. You'll face some people who probably have worse teams than you, and you'll win probably the next 3 out of your 5 next games because you probably played the top 3 teams in your league at this point in time. So
be patient. Breaks. Panicking and trading away good players because you're scared, that can also lead to more losses. You got to play strategic. Maybe there definitely is changes you can make, but don't panic and don't just make a change just to make a change. All right, that's where you get stuck. If you have any, we'll have waiver wires coming out tomorrow with AJ and more. So if you need more advice, you know where to come, Rave. You already know. Brandon Rogers says, what's up? What's up, Brandon? He says needs Chase and Godwin to go off tonight and Higbee to do nothing. I don't know about Chase going off. Burrow, it looks like he is going to start from what I saw. I know the game has not started yet. It's going to start he is starting. It's starting in 1 minute. Yeah. And then Godwin, I think you have a good chance for that. But Higbee, not to do anything. Good luck, man.
That's a long shot, yeah, because Higbee's been used there a lot for the Rams.
For sure. So Keenan Allen will be getting the ball a lot more since Mike Williams is out. I don't know how much more he can get the ball than he did this last game.
It was insane.
He threw a touchdown. I think he caught a touchdown. He was going off.
I think he had 20 targets and 13 receptions. It's insane, but definitely look for them to not do that every week. Look for those guys like Quentin Johnson, Joshua Palmer. If they are on your waivers, those guys are going to be getting an uptick in production, possibly even Gerald Everett. But we're just waiting for Austin Eckler to come back, Once Eckler comes back, it's all going to even out. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, very good point, Vince. This is Alex confirming that he got Gibson Kincaid. He says, I feel like they're slowly working him in. I've seen enough Gibbs to know that he has the ability in the world to do it. Hey, I
Yep.
believe that I think we all agree that Gibbs has the ability to do it. But the problem is are the Lions going to put him in a position to be able to do it? My biggest thing with Aaron Jones and the Packers. Aaron Jones, I think he's one of the best running backs in the league. But a lot of times Matt LaFleur and the Packers shy away from the run and forget that we have this amazing guy that continuously moves the chains. It's all about the system. If they're not using him correctly, even though he's a great player, that doesn't mean he's a great fantasy player. So
Yep.
I believe in Gibbs. I think they're going to figure it out, but right now it doesn't look like they have. They're giving him touches, but not using him. He says he's a huge Bama fan. To me, Gibbs is the second best running back I've ever seen come through there. Number one, obviously, being Henry. I think that's fair. You agree here, Vince, with everything?
Yeah, I don't know about Gibbs being the second best running back out there. I feel like there's a lot of good running backs that have come out of Bama, but obviously, yeah, like obviously Gibbs has the potential to be the second best once they are utilizing him correctly. But yeah, so got a lot of good points here from Alex. I like it.
Caleb says, he. I'm going to combine both of these because I think he misspelled something, but he said, dude, Love is good. The season has just started. Love is doing very, very well. Wasn't the best game these past 2 weeks, in my opinion. He threw his first interception as far as this season last night or yesterday, but in my opinion, these past 2 of his 4 games, he's been out his 2 best offensive weapons and his 2 best linemen. And he still has been able to produce and will this team forward. I'm very happy and excited from what I've seen from Jordan Love as a Packers fan. I'm excited to see what more is to come once we have all those pieces back and he can actually have a full offense to complement him and move him forward. But Vince, what do you think? Did we find the guy? Did we draft the guy?
Honestly, I think he is a great system quarterback, and he makes plays right now. I think he's going to continue to grow. I definitely think that the run game does help him out a lot.
Yes.
But he's such a talented quarterback. I think him sitting behind Rodgers for 3 years really helped him develop against those strong defenses 100%. That y'all had. So honestly, I think it was probably the best potion y'all could have done, whatever you guys do there in Green Bay for quarterbacks, because I mean,
for sure.
He's looking like he's going to be another star quarterback, if not a Hall of Fame quarterback, if it all goes well for the next 10 years.
I like it. Now, Vince, I want to go off something you said there. You said he's a good system quarterback. Are you saying that Matt LaFleur is a good coach and he has good systems? Is that what you're saying?
I think Matt LaFleur is a decent coach. Yes.
Oh, come on.
I will say he is a good
coach.
What
more does he need to do?
I don't know, man. Honestly, I feel like you guys have a great team. You guys have developed those wide receivers that you guys drafted last year, because last year it wasn't looking so hot, you know.
For sure.
So I don't know if it was Rodgers was not the best guy for Matt LaFleur, but again, that goes into coaching. You know, you got a guy who's supposed to be this great guy, but you can't let him walk all over you. So again, that's a coaching characteristic that brings him down a notch for me, because I feel like now, since Jordan Love has been there and he's a younger guy, he actually does listen to him. But I feel like there's sometimes a few guys that don't listen to Matt LaFleur, and it kind of shows out there on the field sometimes. Okay, but I do say he's a good coach, good play caller for sure.
Yes, so, very much so. We should need some better execution out there and not be slipping on the field and doing these dumb plays. Okay. Ray says, thoughts on Tank Dell. What do you think about Tank Dell, Vince? Thumbs up?
Certified stud.
Certified stud.
This guy's so quick. He's very small for a wide receiver position, but he fits well in the slot. He reminds me of like a little what was his name? He played for the Patriots. I guess you can say like Edelman a little bit. He's just very quick, and he's quick with his cuts. But I mean, fantasy purposes so far, if you're just doing like regular PPR, he has like 52 fantasy points this season combined within these first 3 weeks. That's pretty good for a rookie wide receiver. So, I mean, you split that up, that's about like what, 17, 18 points per week almost.
Mhm.
It's pretty darn good. So, I think he's doing great, and he's probably going to get 1,000 yards and hopefully a couple touchdowns in there. Because if you got him on your fantasy team, it's a good problem to have having him on the bench if you haven't played him yet.
Gotcha. All right, I would agree with that. Caleb says Burrow I picked up on fantasy. Start off bad, but again, the season just started. I think he's gonna. I have to believe he's gonna. We've seen too much talent from Joe Burrow for him not to figure it out eventually. I just don't know when that is. I don't know if it's gonna be tonight. They are starting. I don't know currently what is the status of the game, and if it looks like the Bengals have the ball, so I don't know if they're driving or not. But hey, I got. He's 3 for 5 now for 27 yards.
I mean,
Jamar
not
Chase does not
bad.
have a catch. That's great. That's great to see.
Yeah.
But you got to believe that he's going to figure it out eventually. But it's just how many games are you going to lose until then, unfortunately.
Yep.
Ray says, Reed, Chase and McPherson need 16 combined to beat my team in the other league. Oh, is that the league I'm facing you? I need 16. I thought I already lost that one against you, Rafe. I thought you schooled me. Let me check.
Check real fast. I'll read some of
Okay.
these comments right now.
Okay.
So Alex Stiver says, Rave, Tank Dell is Antonio Brown set to mini. Hey man, don't compare him to Antonio Brown because Antonio Brown is a menace to society. Tank Dell is only a menace on the field because he schools a lot of people right now. But
Oh yeah, he's right. Yeah.
AJ over here says Purdy is the guy. Reed, what do you think about that? Because my comment about Jordan Love being a system quarterback is like triple for Purdy.
I think Purdy, if he was on a different team, he would not be as successful as he is right now, 100%. But I think this is the most successful we've ever seen a quarterback in Kyle Shanahan's offense. So I will give him that. I think he's been the best quarterback we've seen out of that offense, in my opinion. So I think he's a guy. I think if you keep him healthy, and he will continue winning you games for multiple years, and it's awesome that he was literally the last pick in the draft because for these first 4 years, you got 3 more, including this one, where he's getting paid literally nothing, AJ. You're paying this man nothing. I'm really excited to see what happens with him. He honestly has a chance to win a Super Bowl this year with that team. I don't think there's really any team in the NFC that I've seen that can beat this team on a consistent basis. It really just depends who's the better team of the day is. But I think he has a chance to win the Super Bowl this year.
Possibly.
Yeah. But yes, Rave is right. I can actually win this game. I thought this game was already lost. Oh no, yeah. I'm gonna beat him. 100%.
Oh gosh. Let's
All
see.
right.
Let's go through these.
Caleb says, Vince, it's all about the cheesehead, man. Come on, Vince.
Hey man, it is what it is, you know. Cheeseheads. That's probably what they used to hypnotize these quarterbacks into playing like robots out there, you know. And then they give them a little bit of a personality.
What do you mean? They don't play like robots.
Dude,
Favre was the
Aaron Rodgers finally got his personality back, and that's why he started being stinky out there,
Oh my
you know.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Big Money Joe says, hey, welcome to the chat, man. This is your first comment, so welcome. Good to see you, Big Money Joe.
Back.
He says, I don't know who the wide receiver Zucchini is on the Eagles, but I'll take it. Anyone but AJ Brown at Vince.
Yeah.
So
I just looked at fantasy. So like he has Jalen Hurts, right? And I have AJ Brown. Those are the only 2 guys playing. I was down by 10 points, but now I'm only down by 7. So I already accepted defeat. I feel like Jalen Hurts is gonna get like a super easy 1-yard rushing touchdown, and that's gonna cook me. But I mean, if AJ Brown goes off, like I have some other receivers that went off, like Keenan Allen. I mean, I'm cool with winning against Big Money Joe, going 3-0 in that league. But so far I'm cool with going 2-1.
Gotcha. Ray saying yes, I have a chance to beat him. McPherson missed the actually field goal, I believe it was. The Bengals have not scored a touchdown, so it was a field goal. So that's very disappointing, McPherson. You need to get your act together, or you're going to get benched real quick, buddy. All right. I gotta beat this guy. I don't want no Ray's smack talk. I've seen what he can do. I don't need that.
He'll come for you, bro.
He'll come for me real quick. That's when Zach comes out, you know. All right. Alex says playstyle wise, AB is a good comparison to Dell, quick elite route runner. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it.
Okay. That's a high comparison. You know, AB before he went crazy and had CTE, he's one of the greatest wide receivers of all time.
He's good. He just had a different dynamic or type of wide receiver that he was. He was, I don't know. I think Tank Dell was different.
Okay. Kiddo says, dude, the Lions shocked me a lot this season. They have not shocked me. Not one sense. I think we knew they were going to be good. I'm very interested to the Thursday night game this week is the Packers versus the Lions in Lambeau. I'm very excited to see what this game turns out to be, especially if Aaron Jones, Bakhtiari, and Christian Watson all get to play in this game, which I think they will. Having all those guys back to complement Jordan Love, I think if all those guys play, I think we have a chance to beat the Lions. If we don't, then it's going to be a hard game for the Packers. I'm very excited about that Thursday night game. But I have not been shocked about the Lions one bit. I knew they were going to be good. I knew they were going to be a gritty team that's going to be hard to beat, and that's exactly who they are. All right. Rave says, my best team is the team with no money involved. That's just the fate, man. That's just the fate of fantasy. That's rough, dude.
Yeah. That's rough. Is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Yeah. Big Money Joe says, as soon as the rain began, Baker throws an interception. He threw an interception. We're not watching the game right now because we're focusing on y'all's comments, but man, that stinks. I've gone to bat for Baker a little bit right now, and I really want an upset against the Eagles. I want the Eagles to lose. I want them to stink. I got a really annoying coworker. He's not annoying, but I love being able to talk smack to him, and I have not been able to do that last year until they lost the Super Bowl. So hopefully they can stink a little bit this year, even though they're still a good team. So
not bad.
Jokes to Smoke, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a long time. Thank you for coming back and joining the stream. We appreciate it. We remember you, man. If anybody who's watching right now has not joined our Discord, the description, the link should be in the description. Do you put in the description, Vincent?
I did not.
Okay. I am going to take a quick chance and throw it in the chat for everybody. If you join our Discord, like what we're doing right now, talking about football in the chat, we do 24/7. As long as I'm not busy at work, I try to jump on the Discord and talk with you guys. So if you want to hit that link, I don't know why it's not working on Twitch. So if you're watching on Twitch right now, which nobody is, we're all good. It's really fun. It's just a bunch of dudes talking about football, talking trash to each other, etc. Caleb says the Rams scored. The Rams scored. I didn't see that.
Yes, sir. I guess so. I don't know. Might be like might be under review or something. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, Tell us more about it. Caleb says, I want the Cowgirls to lose. Who loses against the Cardinals? Man, the Cardinals are actually kind of surprising some of us, I think.
I'm telling you, Reed, I think they are a better team than what we gave them.
I thought they were tanking. I thought they were trying to go after the first overall pick. It looks like if they potentially get Kyler Murray back, they could actually win a lot of games, you know? I'm very surprised by them. They almost went against the Giants. They beat the Cowboys. What more can they do? I don't know. It's probably the biggest surprise, I think, so far this season.
I would have to agree.
All right. AJ says it looks like Gainwell is splitting the rushing backfield so far. Oof. Gainwell,
Yeah,
I always
not
forget
bad.
what team is he on? I always forget.
Eagles.
Eagles, that's what I thought. Okay. So, all right, good to know. Good to know. Thank you, AJ. Swift's more involved in the passing game. Damn, this guy's always locked in. This
I
guy's
don't know,
always
man.
locked
I
in.
don't know. I think DeAndre Swift is more in the running game, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm just looking at the stats right now because I got him. I have him on my team, and he has 5 carries for 38 yards and only 1 reception for 8 yards. So I don't know. I feel like going back to the earlier comment about who was it? Jokes of Smoke, right? He said, "What's y'all's thoughts on DeAndre Swift?" I think he's finally found a home. I mean, the Eagles are treating him
Oh,
well.
shoot.
They use that triple-headed running back uh, type of game style, and I think it's working for Swift. He's got fresh legs. He feels like there's no expectations on him because there's 2 other backs that are just as equally as good as him or just a little bit below him. But Swift really likes that offensive line, and he's been doing pretty great in my opinion. AJ,
AJ's mad. Says
he
K.
is mad.
I do. I think I just realized I completely missed this question because
That's okay. It's
I
okay.
got completely distracted by that. We haven't seen you in a while joke. I apologize for just passing by the question. I thought on DeAndre Swift. I'm not too high on him. I think the Eagles are going to use whoever the hot hand is, and I haven't seen enough from DeAndre Swift to say that he's going to be the hot hand. So if I had him on a fantasy team, it would be hard unless I just didn't have other good running backs to put him in that starting position.
Yeah.
He would probably be right in my bench until I see consistency from him. Hopefully, he shows up to us tonight, but I'm a little bit. I'm not sold on DeAndre Swift yet.
Yeah, he's currently riding my bench too, until I see him pop off again, and then we'll see. We'll go from there.
Gotcha. Ray says Gannon's speech. If you saw the video, is doing God's work. I had not seen his speech. All I've ever seen from Gannon is him being the most awkward person in the whole world. Hey, if it's working, it's working. When we first saw Sirianni, we made fun of him on this podcast when we first started off. That's when he became a head coach, and we were like playing rock paper scissors with draft picks. What are you doing? This guy's weird as heck. But hey, it got into the Super Bowl. They came up short, but it works. So yeah.
Oh, so Rave says he put it in the Discord for the video. I don't know if you want to pull it up, Reed. Maybe we can play it on here.
Okay.
See, get our reactions live. But let me go ahead and read these comments while Reed does that. Caleb Safela, he says, "I'm going for the Bengals today because he hates the Rams." I think I was going for the Rams today because I don't think the Bengals are gonna get it together when we did our spread pick'ems, basically betting against the spread with NSP. But let me read this one from Rave. He says sent it in Discord. And then last but not least, before we watch this video, it says the Texans ripped the Jags. Yes, they did. We'll get to that in a little bit while we play this video right here.
All right. Here we go.
Let's see.
Get the comment off. Here we go.
Oh, my bad.
All right. Rewinding it.
Welcome back. Who drove over here? Quick, let me see your hands. Who took the bus? Did you have fire in your gut? Did you? We're here for a reason. Don't get that twisted. Okay, we're here for a reason to win games.
Yeah?
So if you didn't have that fire in your gut, you better light the fire pretty fast. Be who you are. Just understand, I'm looking for killers.
I've seen this. We're looking for killers. We're looking for killers. Oh my god.
He's
he came from the Sirianni tree, man.
I like the words, right? The words are cool, but it's just the delivery for me.
It's like it's an episode from The Office or something. This is the reboot that's apparently happening.
Yeah. But what killed me was he's like, "Did you have that fire in your gut?"
Who drove in here today? Ants?
The worst way to go about it. I don't know. So weird.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right, back to the comment. Did you already read this one? I'm sorry, I missed it.
yeah, we're on this one right here. That the
Alright.
Texans ripped the Jags.
Very
Yeah, they
surprising.
did. They did. I wasn't surprised at all. I didn't think that the Jaguars were gonna like play that well against the Texans because I feel like the Texans always have their number somehow once a year. It's just a divisional game. I thought it was gonna be close. I thought maybe the Jags would have squeezed out a win, but the Texans fully ran away with it. I mean, I think they almost doubled the Jags score. Trevor Lawrence could not get away from that defensive line, those linebackers. It was just a sloppy game by the Jags, in my opinion, and I think the rookie is it Bryce? No, it's not Bryce Young. It's CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, he played really well. I think on that tweet that one of us sent, or I think I saw it, he has 121 yards or 121 passes this year without an interception. It's pretty dang good by a rookie in the first 3 weeks. So kudos to him. He's doing great. Hopefully he continues it and he can actually bring the Texans to possibly a playoff berth next year. Because I don't think it'll be this year, but next year I think if he keeps it up, the Texans have a bright future.
I like it. Brandon says, yes, sir. An interception by the Buccaneers. Let's go. Okay. That means Jalen Hurts threw an interception. Uh-oh.
Good. I hope Big Money Joe likes that.
Yeah. Rave talking about the video. He's so awkward. Yes, he is the most awkward person I think I've ever seen. He's trying to be inspirational, but his voice, dude, don't make fun of his voice, man. He can't help it.
I think it's just the way his personality is.
I think it's the delivery.
Yeah, I don't know, because I've heard him like yell and stuff, but I don't feel like he was yelling there. Maybe he lost his voice, and he just couldn't yell it. I don't know. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
We'll see. All right. Let's get back to the Dolphins now that we've gone through.
I know, man. We went on like a freaking 30-minute tangent right there off of all these comments.
So I think the question that we need to answer here, Vince, are they legit? Are we going to be able to see this for the rest of the year? I don't think they'll ever be able to put 70 points up unless they play the Bears or something. But how legit are they? In my opinion, I think it was you, Vince, that sent this stat, but Tua has the exact same stat line as far as completions to attempts to, I think, touchdowns to the T
interceptions,
as he had last year. At this point in Game 3, he did the exact same thing. So I think what we can gather from that is I think we were at the same time hyped about the Dolphins last year, about them. But what all went wrong is the injury to Tua. He ended up getting those concussions, and then without Tua being their quarterback, they fell apart. I think that's the key point of this, in my opinion, for the Dolphins to be able to continue this. I think in my opinion, they're going to sputter out eventually. Teams are going to figure out how to better contain them. They're not going to figure out how to stop them because you can't stop Tyreek Hill, that speed. Jalen Waddle wasn't even in this game. You got to remember that. Jalen Waddle did not play in this game, and they scored 70 points. They have a good running back duo with Mostert and Achane, as they call him. Not A-Chain, Achane. I think they can definitely be a serious threat in the postseason if they are able to stay healthy, especially Tua. If they get injuries here and there, we've seen that they have enough weapons with Waddle being out that they can continue this. Except Tyreek Hill, I think if they lose him, then that completely stops a lot what they're doing on that team. But I think if you are able to keep Tua healthy, keep him protected. Because in my opinion, if he gets one concussion, he's out another 6 games because that's how bad his head has gotten. Once you see certain players get multiple concussions over time, they have to take longer and longer
to
get back. As a Packer fan, Sam Shields, our cornerback, that's what happened to him. He ended his career. He got concussion after concussion until it was like he's missing like 6 weeks at a time after one concussion. That's what you got to be careful about. Tua, he's already at the point where he missed 5 games in a row, I think, last year because of one of the concussions he got against the Packers. If that continues, then I think that's where the Dolphins fall apart. If they're able to stay healthy going into the postseason, and I think they could be I think they could be Super Bowl bound potentially.
Ooh, and that is the title of our episode here. It says, "Are the Finns Super Bowl bound?" I could see it, but I think I still need to see more from
100%.
them. Yeah, I feel like the first two games were really tight games, right? And I just felt like the Broncos were like no match for that high potent offense, even with Waddle being out. Did it help that their run game was just like insanely awesome? I think they had over like 400 yards rushing, because Mostert had 200 yards and Achan had 200 yards as well, like 200 plus. So that's insane. I would have to go back and look at every single stat from every single game, but I don't think there's ever been that many rushing yards by a duo ever on the
I feel
same
like
team.
we would have heard about that if it wasn't.
Yeah, I feel like they would have brought it out from like the records from the 1900s and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, so like for two running backs on the same team to have 200 plus yards and 4 touchdowns, it's never happened. So if you didn't watch that game, go watch the recording, because that was history right there, and that's going to be in the history books for a long time. Because I don't think anybody else will replicate that. But
Anytime soon.
do I think that the Dolphins are Super Bowl bound? I say no. But I definitely think they are playoff bound, just like I said last year. Just this year, I'm a little bit more confident because hopefully Tua can stay healthy, and if he does, I mean, he's the number one guy for MVP right now in the NFL. That's something that nobody has even talked about yet anywhere that I've seen on Twitter, YouTube, anything like that. But Tua right now, his odds to win MVP before this past game were 5-1. I think he was close to being at the top. I feel like with his stats now, even though he didn't have too much to do in this past game, I think he only scored 2 touchdowns passing. I feel like he's leading that team, and he's going to get that MVP vote if he can keep it up and his team keeps winning. Because that's how we know the MVP goes to the quarterback with, good stats but has the best record. And that's how it's been. It's how it's been probably for like the past 5 years, I think. Whoever has the best record, that quarterback usually wins the MVP. So I think Tua can win it. Do I think they make it to the Super Bowl? No, I think they'll fizzle out by then. But they are going to be a really great team going into these next 13, 14 weeks. So watch out for the Dolphins if you have them on your schedule.
Yeah, you definitely should. You gotta get the boys running sprints, because they're gonna be running all over that field with the speed that they had. They are fast. They play
It's
fast.
crazy.
They are fun to watch. If you guys have not yet subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and if you feel like it, hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to us. I don't remember exactly where we were before that, before we started this video, but we're at 460 now.
I think we're at 460 already.
Okay, so we haven't gained any subs. So guys, you need to hit the sub button, man. There's been a lot of people in this chat.
I think everybody that's been here is already subscribed.
All right, well then send it to your family, man. Send it to your friends. Let everybody else know about this, about the Not So Pro movement. All right.
Yeah, man. We're on the road to 500, and we're also on the road to 1,000. That's the big road that we're on right now. But
yes, sir.
460, 40 more subs, and we're going to give another giveaway. We haven't gotten that giveaway yet, so we can't advertise it. But soon we should be advertising it, especially if our numbers keep going up like they have been. So we appreciate y'all. And yeah, keep us in your what's it called? Your vocalization to your other people, man. Make sure you're spreading the word.
All right, Caleb says, I thought he was high talking about Gannon after the game, Cardinals head coach. But he says, dude, the Dolphins, yes, they are a scary team, as me and Vince have just said. They are firing on all cylinders, playing very, very, very well. Yeah, I'm very shocked by it. Vincent, any other games you want to talk about?
Not really, man. I feel like most of the games that happened this week, we expected it to happen, besides, the Jags and the Texans. We didn't think the Dolphins were going to pummel the Broncos like they did.
Oh.
I knew my Seahawks were gonna win.
I was surprised they covered though. I was surprised
Hey
by
man,
that.
I knew they would cover.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was surprised by that one.
as soon as I heard that either we were gonna play against Bryce Young or it was gonna be Sam. Who was it? It wasn't even.
Andy
I don't even
Dalton.
remember. Andy Dalton,
The
the
Red Rifle.
redheaded Red Rifle. Yeah, like I knew that we were gonna cover it. Our defense is just getting stronger. Jamal Adams is finally coming back this week in Week 4 against the Giants, so I'm excited about that. Hopefully he can play up to par because he hasn't played in a long time. But yeah, really, I don't think there were any other games that I was super surprised by. But I'll go ahead and give my list a look because I got some of the games written.
I was happy to see that the Vikings are continuing to suck.
They 0-3, baby.
I told you guys. I'm saying
No,
it since
but
last year. The Bills came back in a big way against the Commanders, 37-3 win.
yeah.
That was
Yeah,
good to
yeah.
see. It gets you like that feeling like, oh hey, the Bills are still the Bills. They can still win
They might be
games,
back.
you know.
It was mostly their defense though. Their
The
defense
Colts.
went off.
The Colts
Oh yeah.
beat
Colts.
the Ravens in overtime. Messy overtime. Messy.
Yeah. I knew the Colts were gonna win. I knew it.
Obviously, Taylor Swift at the Chiefs game was probably the biggest storyline of the whole. Probably it's going to be the whole season.
I heard that Andy Reid set them up.
That's what he said.
That's the talk, you know, out of Andy Reid's mouth.
I don't know about any of that, but huge
how
W.
About the one that we've kind of been like alluding to but haven't talked about yet? What's wrong with the Cowboys, Reid? Why did they lose to the Cardinals?
It looks like they do. In my opinion, I fell asleep after like the first quarter. I took a midday nap after I put out so much energy in that Packers game, and it was a long weekend for me at work. So I took a midday nap. But what I saw from the Cowboys and what I've seen from just talking with some Cowboy friends at work and etc., it just looked like they didn't have any fight in them. They didn't after they got down by 3 points. It looked like they just that they faced adversity and they were not able to beat it. In my opinion, as a Packer fan, last year that was the Packers. We were not, as soon as we faced adversity, we were not able to beat it. This past game, I saw them continue to fight every single drive. Sorry to bring up the Packers again. I apologize. As soon as every single drive, they continue to fight, continue to chip at the Saints, and we eventually were able to come back and win. The Cowboys just didn't have that. They've been playing from ahead. They haven't had to face that, and as soon as it happened, they crumbled and were not able to come back from it. I think they have to show that that's one of the best, the biggest things they need to address this. What do you call it? Practices going into next week. You need to be able to see that they can face adversity and win. This is a good and talented roster still, even with the Trayvon Diggs injury. That maybe played a little bit into it, maybe losing their best corner. I don't think it should crumble them like it did in this game, but you need to see more consistency from them. We've seen that they're good. We know this is a talented roster. I think they could potentially win in the postseason if they get in the right situation at the right time. But you gotta. Biggest thing is you gotta have that discipline that when you face adversity, you face it and beat it. You gotta keep fighting.
I would have to probably agree with you there. I feel like as soon as they went down, it was like, you know, what do we do now? We've been playing where we've been up by, 10, 20 points every single game in the first 2 weeks, and now here come the Cardinals. And this is what I think it was. I think they were like, oh, the Cardinals are coming. We're going to have an easy week, They didn't prep enough. They felt like, we're going to go 3-0. We're going to start the season great. We're going to be Super Bowl bound, all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
right? They were feeling good, and they didn't prep like they should have. And then, of course, Trayvon Diggs went down, but that wasn't a big factor. I feel like Trayvon Diggs is Trayvon Diggs. He plays well, but he's not a superstar that is like an X Factor type of guy like Michael Parsons, But I just felt like the Cardinals executed very well, and the Cowboys were really sloppy because they didn't think the Cardinals were going to come out like that. But there's a good saying that we always say here is any given Sunday, man. You know, it happens. So
Yep.
I don't think the Cowboys should be scared, but I definitely think that it's a wake up call, and I think it's good to have a wake up call this early in the season. So.
Gotcha. Caleb says, haha. I think he's trying to say that they thought it was going to be an easy game. Yeah, they probably went into the week. They thought they were going to fly by the Cardinals. They didn't prepare enough. And the Cardinals, hey, they knew they were facing the Cowboys, a very talented roster. They prepared. They executed well. And that's why they were able to win. That's any given Sunday, as Vincent said. It just becomes who wants it more. And the Cardinals wanted it more than the Cowboys that game. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think that's about it. I think me and Vincent, I think he may have already ate dinner, but I am starving right now.
I haven't eaten either.
Okay.
I'm not.
We're both starving. There's Monday Night Football
There's
going
football on. Football
so
here.
we're going to go ahead and end the podcast. Thank you guys so much for everybody who's tuned in, commented. It's been a really fun one with you guys. We appreciate it. But let's go ahead and watch some dang football because it is football season. That's what we want to do. Thankfully, I think this is the last Monday night doubleheader where this is super early game that messes up with our freaking podcast. Freaking jerks. I don't know why they're doing this to us. But moving forward, we should just be live before the game, and then we'll probably end right when the game kicks off. So thankfully, this is going to be over soon. But thank you guys for tuning in. It's been fun. We appreciate you guys tuning your gaze away from the football. That's how I know you guys actually enjoy this podcast.
Yes,
Vince, do you have any closing words?
Nah, man, just let's hope for another good week in week 4. Let's see how these Monday night games shake out, and let's see who wins on fantasy.
Yes, sir. Go Pack Go. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, keep on grinding.